On base percentage nearly .400, trying to get on against Prager. Sometimes easier said than done. Cut, the one thing you notice about Prager right out of the gates is just his countenance. I mean, he's very calm. He's not animated. He's not screaming and firing himself up. It's just a low heartbeat approach.
That's right. Just one of those really mature players. You love having him in the lineup.
Chopper to third. Hensler gets a nice bounce. Gathers and throws on the run to retire Caulfield to begin the top of the second inning.
Yeah, Caulfield wasn't expected to be back on the roster this season, and Chip Hale talked to him about playing one more season. Said, hey, think about the leadership and what you bring beyond just being a great player.
And this Arizona team last year, they won the last Pac-12 championship. Found themselves back in the postseason again. Trying to be one of those West Coast alternates to some of the power we see in the South. As Maddox Michalakis steps in and picks second in the Big 12 this year. Last 4 years, they've been in the regionals. A couple of times they've hosted. And the 1-0 is fouled back to the screen. And for a number of years, you talk about the West Coast in USC and Arizona State, and went through a stretch where really the SEC and even some of the Big 12 teams started to steal a lot of the college baseball thunder.
That's right. Yeah, and then, I mean, think about the history of Arizona baseball. I mean, they've got a really storied history. Think about their head coach, Chip Hale. Obviously a former Wildcat player, took the team to a national championship back in '86. And you know him really well from pro ball, Brett. So, to come from professional baseball, of course, manager of the Diamondbacks, back to his alma mater. Huge win for Arizona as they make this move to the Big 12. And
it was his dream job and is. And there's a fly ball to Cash in left. He's camped underneath it, makes the catch for the second out. When Jay Johnson left for LSU, I texted him the next day and I said, number one on Chip Hale's to-do list, call Dave Hickey, the athletic director.
There you go.
Of course, he was on A.J. Hinch's staff at Detroit. A.J. had just lost Jose Cruz a couple of weeks prior to that to Rice. So he lost two of his coaches to their alma maters within the course of 2 weeks, right in the middle of big league season.
That's exactly right. I forgot about that, man.
Adonis Guzman, the catcher. Big wave and a miss.
Story of A.J. having to talk Jose Jr. into coaching. And he was working at the MLB union at the time.
Sure was.
Yeah. How the dots connect in baseball. Isn't that crazy?
Pitch just does fade off the corner. But for a number of years, there were a lot of talented coaches that wanted to be minor league managers or maybe big league coaches and kind of follow that path. But for the money in college baseball in the last decade, the opportunity maybe to be at home and to really generate some opportunities, or whether it's your alma mater or not, it's become a situation where I'm not sure it's some of the best jobs in the country when you're a head college baseball coach at one of these blue bloods.
Yeah, no doubt. And it's, like you said, the money has changed. And now you got a lot more headaches in college baseball with the recruiting and the portal.
Everything's changed in the last 3 or 4 years.
It is all changed.
Wave and a miss. Tell you what, Pat, Prager's been on the money through 2 frames.
Oh, he's just putting on a pitching clinic. Fun to watch.
Between the Wildcats of Arizona and the Aggies of Texas A&M here at Daikin Park. Day 1 of the Astros Foundation College Classic. Orbits on hand, of course. You would expect nothing less. A lot of maroon in the stands tonight. A beautiful weather evening in downtown Houston.
Yeah, it's just perfect. What a night for baseball.
7, 8, and 9 to up this inning. Sawyer Farr, the second baseman, leads off against Colin McKinney, who walked the tightrope but emerged to the other side of the first with a couple of walks and a hit to load the bases, then 3 straight strikeouts.
An impressive recovery for Colin McKinney, and the only unfortunate part of that inning was he threw 30 pitches.
He had to work, there's no doubt about it. Strike call to the Fort Worth native, freshman Sawyer Farr.
Yeah, that was a situation last year for McKinney. Gives up the base hit to Kent, walks Laviolette, Hensler. That might have been a situation last season where it kind of spiraled out of control. that's where you've seen some maturity now with McKinney. You're pitching for Arizona and under the guidance of Kevin Vance, his pitching coach, and he has made some strides.
Pat, we've talked so much about players making that big jump between their freshman and sophomore season. Sometimes they have summer ball to do so. I think the unique aspect about McKinney, it's with a different pitching coach, a different team, and a different staff.
That's right. Yeah, it's a new perspective, and that's, I think, sometimes that's what players need. It wasn't like he had an off year or a bad year at Baylor. He actually pitched pretty well, but there were times when the command just left him, and within about 2 or 3 hitters, he was out of the game. Nice recovery for him, and if he gives Arizona 4 or 5 innings tonight, that'll be a win.
Strike 3. That's 4 straight for McKinney. Farr was hoping that had missed, and he had taken the walk. McKinney fighting. He's in full lather right now, and he caught just enough of that zone on the outside corner.
Yeah, it barely caught the edge, and you can see Sawyer Farr just give up on the pitch. Alex Ziegler rings him up.
Jacob Galloway, the catcher, USC transfer, next man in. He's seen these Wildcats before. 5 hits and a home run the first couple of weeks. We know the Aggies offense is going to produce some big time numbers, and there's no doubt power will be part of that. A little bit of a feeling out process this week, and first of all, just trying to replace Gavin Grahovic, and then of course you got to figure out how the pieces work once he's out of the lineup and out of his position as well.
That's right. And it's some juggling right now with Michael Early in the lineup. And he says, look, we haven't had a consistent lineup. We're still trying to figure some things out. You lose also Caden Sorrell. That was a big loss. So, yeah, a couple of big guys they were counting on the middle of that lineup. And it feels like kind of like a bit of a puzzle right now.
And we talked to Michael Early on Wednesday morning. He said it's a real crap game. And then he said, maybe I could say it better than that. But I think that summed it up. We caught him at a raw moment, Pat, after that loss on Tuesday night and with the injuries. And I felt like at times we were kind of helping him get through it with the conversation, because he has an intensity to coach this team.
Oh, man, no doubt.
And to be good. Hard hit. Nice stop by Crawford at second from the outfield grass. Will throw out Galloway for the second out of the inning.
Yeah, hard hit ball from Galloway, and just a better stop from Caulfield. Positioned really well. Taking that little gap between first and second away, and nice job getting to his feet, making an accurate throw. Yeah, I think you're right. Going back to Early, it was his first-year head coach, right? He's been known as a tremendous hitting coach all throughout his career, but a lot of different responsibilities. And I think he even suggested, he said, man, I didn't realize all the interviews and the different talks I have to give. And he goes, I just like to coach baseball.
But sometimes as he was talking his way through this stretch, his Keel bats, he said, hey, I'm glad it hit us in the mouth now. Punched us in the mouth. It's the response that'll be important. And he said, even though we've lost 2 games in a row, I'm more excited today for practice than I have been all year.
That's right. Yeah. You can just see the fire, and of course, you lose a couple of games for a team that's ranked #1 in the country and high expectations. And, you feel that as a player. You certainly feel it as a coach. And sometimes the best thing that can happen is just get back on the ball field, get after it. And it's amazing how much the intensity goes up when you're facing some adversity.
3-1 to Terrence Keel, the right fielder. He did add that, there's a target on our back right now. These opposing teams, they smell blood in the water. A #1 ranked team and a chance maybe to get a big win against them. 3-1 pitch. Sort of nifty offering from McKinney to get the swinging strike 2.
Just didn't give in with a fastball and Keel out in front of the breaking pitch.
47th pitch, maybe a bounce back inning from the economy if he can get the out, but he doesn't. He walks Keel. 2-out, 3 pass will turn this lineup over.
Get it back by Keel. Of course, the threat to run any time, and see if the Aggies try to pick a pitch to move him to second base.
Caden Kent Had an infield base hit off the fingertips of McKinney in the bottom of the first, but was stranded at third base. Backdoor breaking ball for strike one to Kent.
Yeah, Kent was a hitter. You know, again, high expectations. Of course, the lineage from his dad, and that always carries some weight. But it was last year. I think it was in the Super. He hit that grand slam, and then he just caught fire in Omaha and went off. And you could see the light bulb go off. You could see the confidence build, and he took that into the summer. Had a great summer up in the Cape. He came back and was just a bit of a different player from a confidence perspective.
Completely agree. If he doesn't get that opportunity, he might go into the summer with a little bit of an unknown, or trying to find some at-bats and some playing time in the summer. But he certainly rode the wave and made the most of it on the biggest stage in the biggest games of the year.
Yeah, it's just all click, right? You're right. And look, the Cape is a tough place to hit too. Wood Bat League, great pitching every night. And that's what sometimes it takes. It's that one big hit in a player's career, or maybe just a good game or a good week, and it can turn a career around.
Went 10 for 24 in the College World Series with 7 runs batted in, and that pitch to the backstop. Keel thought about possibly going to third base with a wide turn at second.
And that came off of Guzman's glove and kind of headed towards that on-deck circle of the Aggies, and had a long way to go to get it.
Kent was doing the limbo. He was trying to bend back out of the way. Orbit was in the front row watching the proceedings. So a 2-out walk, now a 3-1 count to Kent.
Should get a pitch to hit.
Well, that tight breaking ball has been of the backdoor variety, has kind of locked up some of these lefties.
Yeah, he's throwing it for strikes. He's going to throw that pitch again.
Kent waiting on a payoff. Chopper up the middle. Caulfield is there. Sidearm flip to first. Retires Kent. McKinney puts up another 0 to complete between the Wildcats and the Aggies here at Dyken Park. The top of the third inning. Ryan Prager. Been a lot of fun to watch since giving up the leadoff single to begin the game. He'll look at Splain, Breifogel, Mira, bottom 3 in the lineup.
Yeah, I sent a message to a number of my guys I coached in the summer. And, Brett, I said, you've got to tune in and watch this guy pitch. He is a pitcher. He's not a thrower. And they've got some of these young guys that just want to light up these radar guns, and all they think about is velocity, and they'll throw a pitch. And, Coach, how hard was that? I said, it doesn't matter. It was right down the middle. It's going to get hit like 140 miles an hour.
He's been fun to watch. That's popped up in foul territory, and it'll be at a play. You think about Prager, Pat, just the story. Last year, of course, A&M, a chance to win a national championship. It doesn't happen. They come up a little bit short to Tennessee. All of a sudden, Jim Schlossnagle's out the door to Texas, and that hurt, of course, Aggie fans. And then the question became, would they lose a lot of these players, like Lavula in the transfer portal, or would Prager obviously go to the professional ranks? So Michael Early gets the job. He keeps a bulk of the roster. And there's a wave and a miss, and down goes Splain. 4th strikeout through 7 batters for Prager. And then the icing on the cake was Prager, after being drafted in the 3rd round, saying he wanted to come back to College Station to win a national championship.
Yeah, that was really an incredible turn of events. I mean, and that all happened within just a few weeks, right? And, when Schloss left and Aggie Nation went crazy, and, you just almost anticipated that roster getting stolen, right? There was a lot of people coming after that roster.
At a time in which you can't get into the portal because most players have found homes already.
That's right. That's right. So it was a huge hire for the Aggies to keep Michael Early. And, is he young? Does he have head coaching experience? Yes, he's young. No, he doesn't have head coaching experience. But look, if you're going to take a chance on somebody to keep a roster together, to keep this momentum going, and a guy that really loves the game and is passionate and loves Texas A&M, it was a great hire. And I don't think Ryan Prager would have come back had that not happened.
No, I think you're right. And listen, he wanted to win a national championship. Michael Early said he didn't recruit him, he gave him a plan. They talked about him. Obviously an impressive family, and they could have adult conversations. Prager paints the outside corner to Breifogel. That's 5 strikeouts through 8 batters. 3 in a row.
Yeah, and look, Ryan's a really smart young guy. He wanted to come back and finish up his degree, and you know, he's done some great things with Texas A&M, and he just felt like there was some unfinished business, bottom line.
And all of a sudden, the outlook then for Texas A&M really changed. Laviolette back, Prager back. They got into the portal and did some damage. This is Matisse Murad, the third baseman, Big 12 newcomer of the week. You see his numbers on the season.
Yeah, great story about Murad being from France. Dad was a baseball player in Europe. He and his brother both came over to the States to go to junior college. He gets his chance here at Arizona. Saw him make some unbelievable defensive plays a couple of weeks ago in Globe Life Field.
The shortstop playing third base. That is a mile-high pop-up in the shallow left. Cash comes drifting in. Roof open ninth, able to make the catch. That's back-to-back perfect frames from Prager. He's faced the minimum through 3 scoreless innings. Pitcher's duel here at our nightcap from Dyken Park.
And for Colin McKinney, this is where you want to face Laviolette. Nobody on to start an inning.
29 homers, 78 knocked in a year ago. Certainly among the favorites to be drafted first overall. Hits the ball as hard as anybody in the country.
Yeah, some of those exit velos will just jump off the page at you. And you can see why. I mean, he's tall, he's filled out. I mean, the guy looks like a player. He fills the uniform up well. But man, 5 tools, that's a tough tag sometimes for a player. He's a 5-tool guy. I mean, he hits for average, hits for power.
Pat, he's playing center field tonight, too.
He is playing center field tonight. Yeah. And he's got wheels. That's a complete package.
Michael Early said the talent's undeniable. And he said, you know, care can be your biggest strength and weakness. In other words, you feel a little bit of the slow start. And I think even when we were talking with Coach Early the other day, he had his iPad next to him, and I think Jace was sending him some swings to look at.
That's right. Yep, never wants to stop working, always, you know, looking to improve. But yeah, I think the care comment was sometimes you can care too much. And that time going down swinging.
How about McKinney?
Yeah.
Going right after, striking out his 5th batter of the game.
Fastball at 93 up in the zone. It's one of those high spin rate fastballs, and it just gets under the hands.
Wyatt Hensler, the 3-hole hitter, also walked back in the first. Pat, obviously McKinney is facing these Aggies hitters. But when you went up against another team in which there was an incredible pitcher working on the other side, were you aware of that in the sense that you wanted your best performance because you understood that it could be a lower scoring game?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it kind of, you know, you don't need to get any more juiced up than you typically are for a start, but you certainly think about, you know, this guy's got his good stuff, so I need to match up.
Hensler will fly out to left to Breifogel. And there's 2 outs. Tell you what, playing High Corbett's left field isn't easy, and Minute Maid much shorter, but a challenge with the Crawford boxes and whatnot. So far, so good. 2 outs.
Yeah, Breifogel is really athletic. You got to have the athleticism if you're going to play left field at High Corbett. And you got Aaron Walton in center field who can just flat go get a fly ball.
Tell you what, on hot days at High Corbett in that big ballpark, you feel like you're playing at the zoo. You're so deep. Ground ball to shot. He'll backhand it and throw out Hayden's shot to end the inning. So Colin McKinney with a quick inning and a perfect third. No runs up on the big board yet as we go to the 4th. Up between Colin McKinney of Arizona and Ryan Prager of Texas A&M as we go to the 4th. Top of the lineup, second time through for Arizona against Prager. You mentioned, of course, he wanted to finish his degree and come back and win a national championship for the Aggies. Summerhill got a single to lead off the game, and since then, Prager has set down 8 in a row and picked up 9 outs in that stretch. And Pat, I think every college player and big-time pitcher wants to win a national championship. They want to get to Omaha. I think once you've been there and you've had a taste of that stage and that event, it really fuels the fire then to come back. Maybe more so from players who just didn't have that opportunity.
Oh, man. Yeah, Brett, you know, it's such a magical place to play. And, you know, in front of those big crowds every day. And, you know, it feels like you know, it feels like professional baseball is what it feels like. And then to walk away, you know, you're one step away, maybe 2 pitches away. And you lost that game to Tennessee, and you're like, oh, man, it was just that close.
That close.
Yeah.
That's strikeout number 6, by the way, for Ryan Prager. He avenges the only man who's gotten a hit against him.
Yeah, it almost feels like a walk in the park here. You know, 41 pitches into the 4th inning, and he just makes it look easy.
Aaron Walton, the center fielder, struck out back in the 1st. Trying to reach base for the 9th straight game to begin the year as he hits one foul outside of third base. Obviously, the flip side of that, it's hard to get to the College World Series. It's hard to get to the Championship Series. Really hard to win a Natty. Obviously, A&M feels like they have the pieces in place.
Yeah,
but you can't fast forward, Pat, through the year. I mean,
no.
you want to get back, but you obviously understand you've got to build, you've got to kind of refocus a new team as they chase that goal again.
That's exactly right. And look, right now it's a struggle because you've lost a couple of key players in your lineup. You still haven't had some pieces in the bullpen worked out. We're still trying to get a feel for what these, you know, first few weeks typically bring. Now, look, if you want to start making comparisons, you know, I've seen a few teams that early on this season that I think, you know, you look at Arkansas, you look at Tennessee, you look at LSU. I mean, those are the type of teams you're going to have to beat. So at some point, before you get to SEC, you better have it figured out.
And the conference schedule gets here fast. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Walton. This is pitch number 46, by the way. Trying to get his 11th out and 7th strikeout. Efficient, effective, and dominant so far for Ryan Prager.
And that's what makes Prager such a great pitcher when you think about it. It's not an overpowering fastball. You know, it's kind of like the Clayton Kershaw type of stuff, right? It's spotting the ball up, it's moving it around, it's, you know, everything moves, and you got great tilt to the breaking ball, the change of speeds, and just the incredible command.
Mason White, the shortstop, in. A pitch to hit without it back.
Yeah, he won't get that pitch again. That's the best he's going to get in this sequence. When you get your pitch like that, you can't miss it.
D1 Baseball had White as the number 7 shortstop in the country coming into this season. So between White, one at the top at his position, and Prager maybe the best at his. We've had some fun individual matchups head-to-head in this one. Soft pop-up towards the shortstop, Kent, but Hensler, the third baseman, there instead. By the way, that is 3 straight perfect innings for Prager. He's paced the minimum through 4 in a 0-0 game. No score between Arizona and Texas A&M. Game 3 of day 1. Tomorrow we'll crank it up with Tennessee and Rice. These Wildcats will take on Mississippi State in our middle game. A&M back to take on Oklahoma State in our nightcap. Got some blue bloods of college baseball in this event. These teams, it's hard to imagine that last time they played was at the 2011 College Station Regional. A&M leads the all-time series. Pat, I love this. 23 to 22 to 1. That's pretty even.
About as close you can get.
Blake Binderup, the first baseman, leads off against McKinney. 5, 6, and 7 due up for A&M. They had the bases loaded, nobody out in the top of the 1st. Not only did they not score, Pat, they haven't had a hit since.
Yeah, that was a great recovery by Colin McKinney, and he has put together a couple of nice, clean innings. Good mix of pitches.
That's a real nice pitch there.
Yeah, good effective slider, and then a changeup, mostly used against the left-handers.
And it's an Arizona team that had some incredible starting pitching last year as part of their success. And we talk about all these teams then rebuilding, so to speak. For Arizona, I think that has been the question mark. And Chip Hill said that, you know, even going back to the fall, they didn't throw a lot. And he wanted to give his guys a little more rope early in the year in Arlington against good competition. And game 1 was close. Games 2 and 3 at the Rangers ballpark got away from them. Riding a 5-game winning streak. Little flare out in the left. And Breyfogle will track it down to retire Binderup. for the first out in the 4th inning.
Now going back to the Wildcat pitching staff, you're right. I think Chip Hale said they took more of a professional approach towards their fall schedule and did not want to overthrow their pitchers. They get a lot of work in the spring, a lot of work in the summer.
Counts, giving up 2 singles.
Just the fastball again above the hands of Cash. Cash late with that long swing. And you get 2 strikes on McKinney throwing, mid-90 fastballs. You better cut that swing down.
And even 70 pitches for McKinney as he works with 2 outs in the 4th. To face the second baseman Farr, also a strikeout victim in his only at bat.
It will be interesting to see how long the Wildcats go with McKinney in terms of pitch count. 6'5", 235, big body guy, but still on the 3rd start of the season.
That ball smoked in the air, left center field. Greifvogel back, turning around, looking up, and that's in play. Farr's not going to stop at second. A stand-up triple, he just missed. Hitting one up on the walkway in deep left center. First extra base hit of this game is a 2-out triple.
Yeah, how about that power from Sawyer Farr? And fastball, it was looked like maybe even off the plate a little bit to the outside, but he got the barrel to it, stayed on it.
Missed by about a foot.
Golly, yeah.
And when you haven't played left field in this ballpark, you're contending with those brick pillars and the walkway below the yellow line and playing some hard caroms, and that was an easy 3 bases for Farr, and Aggies have a chance to score the first run of this game with Jacob Galloway, the catcher. One thing McKinney was hopeful of doing is maybe getting through 4 innings with a very low 71-72 pitch count after he had to throw so many in that first, but now it's extending his inning and pitch count climbing. 2 of them.
I don't know if you give in to Galloway here. It's got Terrence Keel, the right-hander, on deck.
That is a big-time pop-up on the infield. Caulfield there. He'll make the catch. Aggie fans trying to holler to see if he might let that ball drop. 2-out triple is wasted. Still scoreless as we go to the 5th at Daikin Park. For the Aggies, 1 for the Wildcats as we go to the 5th in a scoreless game from Daikin Park. This pitching matchup has come as advertised. Prager has faced the minimum through 4 innings, struck out 7. He gets the cleanup hitter, Aaron Caulfield. I was told before the game, Pat, hey, it might be a long shot, but Prager is 13 strikeouts away from 200. He'd be the 21st pitcher in school history. It seemed like a long shot, but maybe not as much anymore with 7 Ks through 4 innings.
Pretty impressive. Yeah, if you're Arizona, you got to be thinking about just putting some balls in motion here, trying to move the defense around. I know Caulfield's a cleanup hitter, but you got to maybe start thinking about, putting a bunt down here or there and get a guy on, maybe hit and run, but do something to try to get Prager off his game, because right now he is in complete control and just been absolutely dominant.
I know sometimes hitters don't like facing pitchers that are really animated. Kind of their emotions might fuel some reciprocity with the hitters. But when you're facing a guy like Prager, who's so calm and so quiet and so sleepy at times on the mound, it would almost frustrate me more. And there's a wave and a miss.
Yeah,
almost like you're waving your hand in front of his face and he's just mowing you down.
Just no emotion, man. The guy's steady Eddie, and he can't even get on about his Huck Finn pants. It's like it's nothing shakes the guy,
8 strikeouts. And this is Mikalakis, the DH, who flew out to left his only time in. Obviously, you think it'd be a little tougher assignment for these left-handed hitters against him, but it's not like the righties have had much success against him either.
No, they haven't. And again, when you talk about the mix of pitches, it's so hard for hitters when you think about, is there one dominant pitch you look for? Yeah, most guys are going to have their dominant pitch. You know what it is when you go up there, and kind of the sequences he's going to throw those in. When you've got 3 dominant pitches, And think about what goes through a hitter's head then, right? Like, what do you sit on? What do you look for? I mean, what's your approach? And that's why I said with Prager, you almost got to cut the plate in half and just look for a particular zone, not maybe a particular pitch.
You know, it makes sense, Pat, and that one's fouled back. And I was talking to a couple of pitching coaches early in the year for pitchers like Prager, who had 3 and maybe even a 4th pitch, and talking about if you throw them all early or whether you save a pitch maybe for second time through. And at least part of the conversation I got back to me was it's hard to hold a pitch. In other words, you know, why not, if you have that ability, just go early?
Yeah, show it early. Yeah, show it early. I mean, there were games when I didn't have like my really good fastball control, so I was throwing more of my secondary pitches, and you found that one you could spot. You know, like Colin McKinney's doing that. He's using that slider for that situation, right? Has been a really good strike pitch for him. But Prager's got 3 of them. He can throw any one of them in any count, and that's really what makes him so effective. A hitter, you just can't sit on a particular pitch. That's why I said you got to go more zone.
In fact, this is his first 3-ball count of the night as Arizona tries to get a base runner. And we talked about his numbers last season. When you have 20 walks and 124 strikeouts, you're not putting many guys on for free. Hasn't done so yet tonight. And the payoff pitch is the first ball 4, and even that was close. And the Wildcats have a 1-out base runner in the 5th.
Yeah, that was a great take by Mikalakis. I mean, if you swing at that pitch, you're probably not successful anyway. So it's good eye, good, you know, took the walk, he earned it.
I think that's a valid point. You're not going to hit this pitch. You're just hoping that plate umpire Alex Ziegler says that's ball 4.
Yeah, Galloway did a good job of trying to get his thumb underneath it to get a frame out of it, but yeah, a little bit too low.
Guzman, the catcher, the BC transfer, went down on strikes in the 2nd. He's hit a couple of home runs this year. In Arizona, they went through that stretch where they lost Ole Miss, Clemson, and Louisville. Took care of business against New Mexico and San Diego, and even Rice a couple of days ago here in town. I think they knew that the pitching they were going to see this weekend from A&M, Mississippi State, and Tennessee was going to be a different tier. And for these hitters, it's both a challenge and maybe a little bit of anxiety not knowing what you're going to get. Yeah, you want to get a good barometer of where you're at as far as your lineup goes. face the pitch you're going to see over the next 3 days. That'll give you a good idea. Ground ball up the middle. Kent knocks it down. Farr can't recover. His throw to first is late. Couple of chances maybe to get it out. But Arizona, with the infield base hit from Guzman, has a couple of runners aboard with 1 gone. Yeah, great job by Donis Guzman. Pitched down and away from him, and had Farr stayed at second base and kept that foot, would he have been able to maybe reach and get it? I don't think so. I think it was too far away. Yeah. I think you're right. It felt like he abandoned that opportunity maybe a tad early because he was not going to have a play, even though they made the throw anyhow. Check it out. Kent looked like he dove for that ball. May have skinned up that palm. Yeah, looking on that hand of that finger. So Prager really was in a rocking chair for a period of time. He had retired 12 straight before the walk to Mikalakis, and then the single from Guzman. And this is Splain. High in the air, down the line and left, bending foul. It'll be in the seats and out of play. And that was a hanging changeup. Splain just a little bit out in front of it. And the first time Prager's been in a duress. Let's see how he handles it. 5 home runs a year ago for Splain as the starting first baseman. Big moment early in this game. Pitch over but low. And count a ball and a strike. Splain, one of those really good defensive players, plays first base, can catch. He has not hit the stride yet with his swing this year. Tried to check, did he offer quick appeal to Eric Gaucher at first? He says no. And the count 2-1. See it again.
Yeah.
Check.
Good check.
Fairly easily.
Yeah, I think they moved Gaucher over to third base. He's the third base umpire. Doug Williams is at first base.
Pitch just misses again. I think that's something Bill Cousins would have told me.
Yeah, I just picked it up. Of course, we got the wrong lineup here, but
3-1 the count. Over the miss. How about coming back with that pitch and the hitter's count?
yeah, down in the zone and definitely out of the strike zone. Splain would have taken it, but yeah, he was sitting dead right fastball there. And the bottom just dropped out of it.
Couple of runners on base. Runner in scoring position for the first time tonight for Arizona. And the payoff pitch off his fingers. Fouls one away third base side.
A big opportunity for Splain here. Arizona's not going to get too many chances like this tonight. Got to take advantage of the ones you get.
That's got to be going through the minds of the Wildcats. Counts full. Payoff pitch. That's down. That's ball 4. How about a couple of walks this inning? And the bases are loaded for the Wildcats.
Yeah, very uncharacteristic of Ryan Prager. But again, we talk about him not giving in to hitters. You know, he's content. He's okay with that. He doesn't want to load the bases, but it certainly doesn't rock his world at all. And first visit tonight for the Aggies. Out of the dugout. Aggies will get their pin up and moving.
Bases loaded, 1 out here in the 5th. Hey, catch all the action on Space City Home Network as the Astros 2025 season kicks off for spring training. Get a sneak peek of the newcomers and the starters. And join Todd, Jeff, and Julia for the latest insights and analysis. It's Astros spring training right here live on Space City Home Network. The Yankees coming up, Nationals and Marlins in the next few days. It doesn't matter, Pat, if it's spring training or not. When your team faces the Yankees, it always feels like
right.
a little bigger and better contest.
That's just how it works, right?
Well, what an opportunity for Arizona. Easton Breifogel, the left fielder, bats with the bases juiced. Prager misses and struck out Breifogel back in the 3rd. He had retired 12 in a row, did Prager, before 3 straight Cats have reached 2 on walks. That is Prager just missing a little further out of the zone, or are these Wildcat hitters seeing him better second time?
Yeah, I think they're seeing it better the second time around.
See if Prager has to come back over the plate. Even then, he works on the outside corner and gets away with a miss. Pitch count still only at 72, so Prager had really been efficient through 4+. Base runners here and away with a miss. He goes right after Breifogel to even the count at 2-2.
Yeah, fastball at center cut. It was down in the zone, but good pitch to hit. Breifogel just swung over the top of it.
The 12th man trying to make their presence known in a big pitch from Prager to Breifogel. Strike call inside corner. He was behind 2-0 and came back to dot 3 in a row for his 9th K of the game.
Yeah, just the composure of Ryan Prager. You know, calm and cool under pressure. 2-0 count, comes all the way back, fires 3 straight strikes, and that one pitches the inside corner.
Just when you think as a hitter, you're kind of set up for a good outcome.
Yeah.
It flips. And then Murat with a wave of the miss. Teese flew out to left back in the 3rd. On the ground but fouled over near the dugout. So A&M had the bases loaded, didn't score in the 1st. Arizona's loaded them up in the 5th. But Prager a strike away from stranding 3.
Well, Colin McKinney turned the trick on A&M back in the 1st. Can Ryan Prager return the favor here in the 5th?
See what he does, 0-2. Fades one off the corner. Murat would not chase. 9-hole hitter for the Wildcats. And the 1-2 down the middle. How about back-to-back Hayes? He's reached double figures, and Pat, more importantly, he strands 3 Wildcats.
Yeah, huge way to end the inning. Great comeback for Ryan Prager. Had some control issues, but he found it. This game is tied, going top of the 5th. 4 innings, but struck out 6. Only allowed 2 Aggie hits. Not a bad stat line for the young right-hander.
You know, it had to be a thrill for him back here in his hometown and pitching at Daikin Park. But now the Cats have gone to their bullpen.
Yeah, first arm we'll see out of the Wildcat bullpen is right-hander Casey Hintz. Outstanding stat line to start the season, and might be one of the better relievers in the Big 12 this season. Went to work, lowered his arm slot during the summer. Did a lot of work with his pitching coach, Kevin Vance. Kind of relearn himself after he lowered that arm slot. It has really paid off well. A lot more movement on his pitches, and breaking ball has a sweeping breaking ball and a changeup.
Terrence Keel walked his only plate appearance, chops one up the middle. Caulfield will get there in front of the bag and throws on the run to retire Keel. To begin the bottom of the 5th inning. These runners have been tough to come by tonight.
They've been a premium. Kind of like eggs. They haven't been on sale in a while.
I can see where this guy's not going to be a lot of fun to face him if he's getting that sink and he's getting that drop. Caden Kent did an infield base hit to the 1st and also bounced out to 2nd his last time in. Kent really opened up on that swing, took a wave of the miss. This Texas A&M team started the year the unanimous #1 in college baseball. We saw Tennessee earlier today. Tell you what, Volunteers aren't going away either.
I didn't see any weaknesses in that lineup.
There was one hard hit baseball after another from their hitters.
There were some serious nukes hit off the bats. Those Volunteers.
It's back-to-back years at the College Classic. We've had the defending national champions and, of course, also the runners-up. Kent disposed of quickly by Hintz, so a soft ground out and a strikeout. Bottom of the 5th inning.
How about 25 home runs in their first 9 ball games? That's obscene.
You know, I know they play in a tremendous power ballpark, but Tony Vitello recruits power. He develops it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure there's a better recruiter in the country, and you just keep that freight train going down the tracks at top speed.
Well, I don't know what they're feeding those guys. I mean, I know they got a great strength and conditioning program, but every one of those guys in that lineup fills out a uniform, and
sure do.
And you just see the ball jump off their bats
too.
Oh.
Speaking of damage, Laviolette has walked and struck out. And what do you think, though, Pat, about this Aggies team? And you combine Jesus in the box along with Grahovic, even though we know he's done for the year, and Gavin Cash. That trio is combined for 32 total bases so far this season. There's 12 players in Division I baseball that have more on their own. So
yeah.
You're talking about 3 guys that, you know, you have big expectations for. One, obviously, lost for the year. You know this guy's going to hit at some point, but he is getting every pitcher's best effort.
That's it. And at times in situation, so that's the challenge at the moment for Laviolette.
Think he's got enough eye black on today?
Yeah, exactly.
He's ready for battle. Big time pop up. The shift was on. Watch Hintz, the pitcher, race over. And that's the second time tonight Arizona has let a pop-up drop untouched in foul territory.
Yeah, that's the third baseman's ball on the way. Yeah, Murat's just going to make the call. I mean, I know they got the shift on, and he's got a long way to go, but you know, that's his ball all the way. And I think Casey Hintz was, knowing that the shift was on, was going to make the call, but
right here he's begging for somebody to call him off.
Exactly. And Murat was there in time. He just simply needed to call him off, but
Pat, you don't want to give this guy another opportunity when you had a chance to get the out and end the inning.
Yep, did you a favor there.
Also talking about another Houston area kid, here in Laviolette. Tompkins High School in Katy. Took that one off the shoe top and fouled it away.
And every great hitter goes through these slumps. I mean, it doesn't matter who you are. You're the greatest hitters in the world. We'll go through it. And he'll figure it out. This won't last forever. I think that that remark from Michael earlier about, sometimes you can really care too much about this game. Sometimes you just got to walk away and leave it alone. That feels like a drilling.
I've got a chunk of Guzman as well. Your strengths could be your greatest weaknesses, and Arizona had a chance to get out of this inning, and yet Laviolette reaches base with 2 outs.
And 2 for 1 on that pitch.
Magic ricochet. Got them both. Wyatt Hensler has walked and flagged to left. 22 homers a year ago in the Ivy League for the Penn Quakers. And I don't care how much success you have in the Ivy League, there's got to be a little bit of that, can I play in the SEC thought process when you come to Texas A&M.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's every level, every conference is different. I mean, you go to the SEC, it's like playing AA baseball every night.
It's a grown-ups league, in a league that has never been older and maybe even more talented. In a sense, Omaha has almost become kind of a SEC invitation when they hope to get 4, maybe 5 teams of the 8 every season.
That's right.
And sometimes what keeps the SEC from getting more is when they line up 2 teams in a super. 2-0 pitch. Hensley to the strike. Hensler fouls one away.
Yeah. The call we had with Jim Schlossnagle at the start of the season, he said, hey, I would never tell my team this, but you go 500 in the SEC, you've made it through the gauntlet, right?
Yeah, you've survived.
You survived, yeah. And your RPI is probably really good.
You might host.
Exactly.
Laviolette is also a candidate to run. You can swipe a base.
Oh, yeah.
Talked about those 5 tools.
And Henson's pretty quick to the plate. Got a good slide step.
Rope foul outside of third. Almost took out the ball boy as well. He's supposed to protect the people down the line. He was trying to protect himself.
He was bailing.
That thing was wet. Nobody won.
Just torched, man.
Bouncing around everywhere. The kid with the giant popcorn tub gets the baseball. And he wonders why they made him wear a helmet. Hint still trying to end this inning. Shot the foul.
Yeah, at the moment, Hensler's swinging the best bat for Texas A&M. He's been the hottest hitter so far in this lineup. And you're just thinking that you've got to have some protection for Laviolette.
I'll tell you what, Hensler will be Chase's best friend if he puts up some numbers.
That's it.
In this interim. The count's gone full, so Laviolette will be off with this pitch. An extra base hit could possibly score the game's first run. He goes, the 3-2. Drilled to left. Back to the Crawford boxes. Goodbye. 56th career home run from Hensler is a laser beam that puts A&M in front, and Pat, that drop pop-up that fell with 2 outs that could have ended the inning has turned into a 2-run frame for A&M.
That's a mistake. They took advantage of it. Yeah, what a bomb by Hensler. Man, what a no-doubter. Pitch just kind of hung up in the zone for him, and man, he was right on time. Just put a tremendous swing there. Almost put a hole in the Halliburton side above the Crawford boxes. That was a nuke. Yep.
2-out hit batter after the pop-up fell off the bat of Laviolette. Then the home run from Hensler. Hayden shot the DH. He's 0 for 2. He missed a chunk of the fall with some knee cleanup. Batting clean up tonight. And the bouncer to Caulfield, and shot will be retired, but the damage done. 2-out, 2-run homer by Watt. 10 strikeouts through 5 innings. Still a couple of pitches shy of reaching 80 in the pitch count. Might get an out here. Ground ball by Summerhill, collected by Farr, and an economical beginning to the top of the 6th inning.
Yeah, Prager with 78 pitches coming into the inning, and 50 of those for strikes. Outstanding strike to ball ratio, and 1 pitch, 1 out in the 6th. Well, as the game progresses, you love those at bats.
Well, think about what Prager did last year. He started the season with 23 2/3 scoreless innings. I mean, that's an incredible way to begin a campaign. As he works to Aaron Walton. Well, coming into this inning, he's at 15 innings. Scoreless baseball.
Oh,
we talk about these guys. Oh, he's a slow starter. It takes him a couple of weeks or a couple of months. Prager comes out of the gates. He's just ready to work.
He is working. Yep. Oral Hershiser-ish, right? He streaks.
Then again, the entire rotation for A&M against Cal Poly was good. 18 innings of 1-run unearned baseball to go along with 14 strikeouts. So he kind of sets the tone, and then the others follow suit.
Yeah. When you can throw out a Friday night starter like this, I mean, you know, the one thing too, you not only is he a great pitcher, but typically going to get you deep into games because he is efficient.
That's just it. Last year, I had the benefit of seeing Hagen Smith, an incredible left-hander. Going 5th overall to the White Sox, got the highest signing bonus of any left-hander in the history of the draft. And, you know, not only would he win just about every Friday night, he would save the bullpen. And then you only need to win one of the next 2 games.
That's it, to win the series, yeah. That's incredibly key, but yeah, that bullpen thing, when you can set your bullpen up like that.
That one ripped to left, back to the Crawford boxes, and it's gone. Aaron Walton, after a couple of strikeouts, takes Prager deep, and he cuts this A&M lead in half in 1 swing with his 2nd home run of the season, and that's a lift to the Arizona dugout.
Well, we picked him right, didn't we,
did.
Brett? Highlight both those guys before the game.
We had a Hensler, Mason White open.
Yeah. That's Aaron Walton just crushed that baseball, and yeah, again, a line drive, and just didn't have the height that we saw last inning from Hensler's bomb. But yeah, again, a no-doubter. Exit velo of about 112 on that. Just crushed it.
It's torched. So all of a sudden, Arizona right back in it. First blemish, not only of this game, but of the season for Prager. This is a little bit into the shortstop Mason White, who's 0 for 2.
Yeah, first earned run he's given up in 15 in the 3rd innings.
He got the first out of this inning on 1 pitch on the ground out to get Summerhill, preseason All-American. It's White to go fishing on a high one. Tucson native Mason White.
And White definitely one of those could go back to back. Ton of pop.
Lifted in the air, bending into foul territory. Will there be a play? Sliding attempt by Kent. Might have cut himself a little bit again on that hand or that arm.
Kent had the best shot at it, but yeah, let's see him wipe that hand again. He may have cut his hand up on that first dive attempt, going towards the middle.
It was a couple of years ago we saw Kramer Robertson go into that net.
Yeah, that's right.
Catch LSU shortstop.
Sure did. Threw him right back on the field.
High in the air. A little bit right center field for Laviolette underneath it. Makes the catch. The 2nd out. Karen Caulfield, the 2nd baseman, 0 for 2. Trying to continue this top of the 6th for Arizona after the home run from Aaron Walton. Tell you what, it's just weird to see that Big 12 patch on the sleeve of Arizona.
Well, Big 12 loses Texas and OU. A couple of big powerhouse baseball schools. They pick up Arizona State.
Among others.
Yep.
It's a strike over the inside edge. You know, so much history in that conference. Talked to John Savage last weekend. He's been at UCLA 21 years. Just talking about the tradition and the history and the rivalries, and poof, they're all gone in some sense. Arizona going through a little bit of that as well. Got to find your footing in a new conference. Two-strike pitch, and it's found backing out of play. And Chip Hale, who played in this conference and grew up in the Bay Area, and you think about going back and playing Cal and Stanford. Well, that's gone. And then the trip to Oregon State, whatever the case may be, it just changes.
It does. I know John Savage, I think he said he even got a little emotional in that call.
Did.
Just thinking about, Pac-12 obviously not there. It's hard to think about.
You want to express the excitement for being in a new league for good reason. And everybody likes a challenge. I would say going to Champaign and West Lafayette in April and May doesn't have quite the lure of maybe playing some teams in your conference, and those are two of their road trips. But, college sports is in a transient mode here in the last several years in many ways. Got back to the screen.
It is a lot of change. It does bring some excitement too, and I think that's what Chip, made reference. And we're excited. We know it's a good baseball conference, and you're going to go to places that you haven't been. You got to figure out new restaurants to go visit. Some of the things you don't think about sometimes when you're just playing college baseball. But
how do we get it? In other words, sometimes if you're flying commercial or charter, losing the rivalries hurts a little bit. Obviously, Arizona State stays, but the one thing about going to the Big 12 versus the Big 10, it's a better baseball league.
That's right. Yeah, I think overall it is top to bottom, and it'll be a lot of fun to watch. I'll call the Baylor games this year, and then we'll get to see some of those teams.
Tucked up on the infield. Kent reaches the grass, he'll make the catch, and that will end the inning. But Aaron Walton's home run cut the Aggie lead in half. Fun game. 2-1 Texas A&M as we go to the home half of the sixth. Fun game, low scoring. A&M in front of Arizona 2-1 as we go to the bottom of the sixth inning. Roof open, downtown Houston here at Daikin Park. Day one of the Astros Foundation College Classic. Good to have the Arizona Wildcats here, and always great to have Texas A&M on hand. Blake Pinderow to bat him. Hintz back out there for a second inning. And there's a chopper to third. Mira has to make a long throw. Blaine plays it on a bounce to get the first out.
Yeah, nice play across the infield. Matisse Mira had to go backhand behind the bag almost at third base. And a long throw and one hops it. The key to that was making the hop big enough for Blaine not to have to try to pick it.
Indeed.
Really nice job there by both ends of the play.
His head coach, Chip Hale, an infielder, appreciates that. There's Gavin Cash. Got a couple of Chip Hale stories. I was with him for 2 years in AAA. Do you want the personal story or do you want the baseball story?
Maybe the personal one first. Yeah, let's go personal.
I would come into the Sidewinders clubhouse after the game, and he'd go, "What do you got? I know you got something to complain about today." And I might have his beverages that were in his refrigerator as he filled out his reports. But we did that, and one night his wife, Judy, was driving home, and when Chip got home, she said, "Your radio guy was a little bit critical tonight." And Chip cut her off. And, usually that doesn't end well for the radio guy.
Right.
When a wife says, "Hey, by the way, your radio guy." And he cut her off, and he goes, "Hold on. Brett is," and he paused, and he goes, "involved."
Involved.
He wants to win more than some of my players do. Because he would always say, "What are you hearing upstairs? What do you know? What do you see from the press box?" So we would have a good time, and that was 2 years of that in the Pacific Coast League. And my first year here with the Astros was 2006, and he ended up winning the Pacific Coast League championship and the AAA championship. And he called me and he said, "You want to be with us, don't you?" And I said, "Listen, I got it pretty good right here in Houston at then Minute Maid, but I'd like to be with you tonight and celebrate that championship."
That's nice. Oh, man.
But you might remember one of the most infamous moments in minor league baseball. I know you'll remember, and that's ball four outside the Cash. Do you remember Rodney McRae? I think it was in Portland, tracking a fly ball in right and running through the fence.
I do remember that.
Okay.
Yeah.
The man who hit that baseball was Chip Hale. and he only got to third. You think he
Wow.
could walk home after McRae is tangled up with the broken fence? And
What's up with that?
And if you Google it, if you don't know what we're talking about, you will enjoy, because that was one of those highlights you would always see.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, full speed, running through a wooden fence like Bump Bailey with a better ending.
That was an amazing play. And they did, you can see that for years in the highlights. But, yeah, I guess as a hitter, if you're Chip Hale, you're running second base going, did he just go through the fence?
Is he alive? Is he okay?
Is he dead? Maybe just concerned for the opposing player. Like, man.
Carr had a triple to deep left center, just missed a homer back in the fourth, but he was stranded at third base. So those are a couple of notes on Chip, who also played 4 years in Arizona, and it was his dream job and opportunity. Obviously, he managed in the big leagues. He just didn't coach for A.J. Hinch. He managed a couple of years with Arizona, so he brings that perspective of both playing collegiately and pro ball, managing at the big league level, and now a head coach, and he's trying to find a way to beat this #1 ranked Texas A&M team in Houston.
Yeah.
There's Chip, and right next to him, Trip Couch, longtime Houston assistant.
That's right.
Great recruiter. Former Greatwood resident.
That's right. Trip for a long time. That's a good coaching staff.
And they rhyme. There's strike 3. Far down on strikes. Hintz gets his second strikeout, second out of the inning.
And that backdoor sweeper is easy for a lefty to give up on it.
I was going to say the same thing. You just see that pitch out, and then it's snapping in for a called strike.
That's a good story.
Thought you'd like it.
Yeah.
I appreciate those. Two strikes on Galloway, and there's that pitch again that causes some problems.
When you think on a side armor like Casey Hinch, he'd be easy to run on, but he's got a pretty good slide step to the plate. He's quick.
He is. Kind of jumps down that hill quickly.
Yeah.
Just misses outside, 1-1.
Typically see those side armors get that ball behind them, and they're just kind of slow to the plate, but not Hinch. Okay. Cash would try to pick a pitch to run on, but
Ground ball sharply hit right to first. Splain was like a hockey goalie, down to his knees, securing the puck of the baseball, and he gets the final out to end the inning. Through 6, Aggies in front of the Wildcats, 2-1. Daikin Park, the home of the Houston Astros. Late February, early March. It's the home of the Astros Foundation College Classic, 25th year. 3 games a day for 3 days. What a start we've had, and good nightcap between A&M and Arizona. 2-run homer by Hensler for A&M in the 5th, and then Aaron Walton had a solo shot in the 6th, and Prager back out there. Pitch number 96 of his night to Mikalakis.
yeah, I got to believe this is Prager's last inning. Thought they might try to get him to that 100-pitch limit.
Seems like a good round number for his third start.
Yeah, not a lot of high-stress pitches for him tonight, so it's still early, though. You just don't want to take a chance, get those pitch counts up to 110, 120. That's just too much early in the season.
There's a wave of a miss. I had a starter for UCLA last weekend in Corpus, and he was right about, say, 95, and he needed one more strike or one more out to get through 5 innings. And he ended up getting to about 106, 107 because he couldn't get that final out.
Wow.
You know, foul ball. You don't want to take him out in the middle of a long sequence, and then all of a sudden you're like, now I'm stuck.
Yeah, that's right. You got to let him finish the hitter.
It's outside, 2-2. But Arizona would like to put some pressure on Prager to get him out of this inning. In their opening game of the season, they went to Arlington, big league ballpark, faced an SEC team, lost 2-1 to Ole Miss. SEC team, big league ballpark tonight, trailing 2-1. It's still time to work. High pop up in the shallow center. Laviolette waiting for that one to come down. Retires Mikalakis for the first out.
Prager's stuff still looks good. I mean, he's 90-91 with the fastball. He really hasn't lost any velocity, and still throwing strikes.
You know, we always talk comps. You mentioned Glavine earlier. He's a little bigger, though, than Tom. Is there anybody else that comes to mind as far as, you know, big leaguers we've seen that maybe remind you either stuff-wise or body type for Prager?
Yeah, I struggle a little bit. I mean, his stuff reminds me of like kind of Kershaw type stuff, and of course doesn't have the funky, herky-jerky mechanics, but that's going to be it. Yes, they did keep him right at 100 pitches.
Even 100.
Yep.
Aggie fans will give him a really nice ovation as he heads to the dugout.
Well deserved. Yeah, that guy can flip it up there. He'll give up 3 hits and 6 1/3, and the lone run, obviously the home run. Brett jinxed him with the scoreless streak going. Impressive. He's that elite Friday night starter that the Aggies need. They'll have to lean hard on him, just trying to set those weekends up right.
New pitcher is Brad Rudis. Facing Adonis Guzman, who has an infield hit and 2 at-bats. 5 2/3 innings of work.
Rudis has been really big and big-time moments for the Aggies. Last year had a great College World Series, and you can see the stuff. That sweeping slider is just nasty.
Point umpire Alex Ziegler signals a ball, I believe, instead of a strike. Is that a pitch timer violation?
I didn't see the clock in effect there. I'm not sure what he called.
Michael Early out for a conversation with our plate umpire, so he quickly bounced out from behind the dish and turned around to the press box and pointed up. So I'm not sure if, again, that timer was winding down. It's really not been a factor tonight, so you kind of get away from watching it. Certainly early in an inning.
Yeah, I mean, Rudis works pretty fast. So I'm not sure what the ball signal was. It must have been the clock, but yeah.
Yep, timer counting down. Rudis to Guzman. Mile high, shallow fly ball to left. Cash underneath it, drifting to his left. He got a bit of an adventure.
Yeah.
The second out.
I'd like to see you get your feet underneath that ball. A little bit spark from Cash,
but even one from Rudis.
Yeah.
From Madisonville, Texas, known for the home of golfer Samuel Bennett and the busiest Buc-ee's on the planet.
I was going to say, you got to mention Buc-ee's.
I mean, it does more business than Disneyland sometimes. Driving between
feels
Houston
like
and
you're
Dallas.
in Disneyland when going through that thing. Yeah, Rudis is nasty stuff, though. I mean, you see the sweeping breaking ball he has, and then going a little bit tighter than that. It's a slider, and then the fastball sits low 90s, but you can imagine that low arm slot gets a lot of run with the fastball.
So you go from an outstanding lefty to a slinging right-hander.
Yeah.
It is a contrast, to say the least.
Yeah, great piggyback scheme there for Michael Early, and I'm sure his pitching coach Jason Kelly. They sit down and they map these things out, right? They don't always go according to your plan, but you can imagine this would be a pretty good combination going forward. You got Prager from the left side, and you got his slinger from the right side coming in behind him. It's 2 completely different looks.
Worth mentioning, Jason Kelly was a head coach.
Yeah, Washington for a long time. Yeah.
Was at LSU before that, so a lot of experience in this league, and even a guy that knows what it's like to be in that the big chair.
Good to have a guy like that in the dugout with a head coach in his first year.
Thinking about guys that leave head coaching positions to come back to this SEC conference. Try and win a national championship. Base is empty, 2 outs. Prager no longer in the game. Good pitch, wave to miss.
Well, in baseball, such a game of relationships. We talk about that all the time, Brett, right? You look at connections, and Michael Early was the hitting coach with Tracy Smith when he was at Arizona State. That's where he got connected, with Jason Kelly.
Worked with a guy named Spencer Torkelson, #1 pick in the draft. Arizona State. Count's gone full to Spling. Rudis really closes off that stance, hides that baseball, and then misses ball 4. So a 2-out base runner. That's the second time that Spling's walked tonight. Long ball here would put Arizona in front for the first time.
The bottom of this lineup has struggled a bit for Arizona, and a lot of talent there. It's kind of coming up. Breifogel, really solid. just a great athlete, future star in this league, but just a little bit of a struggle getting out of the gate.
Reifogel has struck out twice, both times looking. And that one's in from Lourdes. Good on in relief this inning. Lourdes had a brother, Matt, who played baseball at TCU, and Sam Houston, his father, played baseball at TCU, so it's the family business. Good pitch. That cut a lot of the plate, but finished at the knees over the inside corner. All 3 runs in this game have come on homers. A 2-run shot, a solo shot, that's it. 6 combined hits. Maybe another. That one's going to hang up. A liner finds Keel. Good contact from Reifogel, but the inning ends. Wildcats strand a runner. Stretch time in Houston. 2-1. Aggies in front of the Wildcats. Over to 5 Central Time. First pitch.
I'll be here. You'll be sleeping.
Correct. On both. I'm not chasing high school softball games this weekend in the LCISD tournament.
Ah,
Daughter's no longer playing, so I'm not.
Right.
I'm not coming from 2 games for 2
She's
more.
on to bigger things.
So
you're stuck with me.
I might be here watching a little bit. I just won't be working with you game 1. Terrence Keel, the second, leading off. Is 2 runs enough to win this game, Pat, or are we going to see more activity down the stretch?
Man, it's runs have been at a premium tonight. Hard to come by. Great pitcher.
Good miss. Didn't take Hintz long to pick up the K to begin the 7th inning. That's his 3rd since coming on in relief back in the 5th inning.
Yeah, Hintz has been sharp out of the pen, other than the 2-run home run.
And even that came after Laviolette hit the pop-up that ended up falling untouched in foul territory that would have ended the inning.
Should have been the 3rd out. That's the stuff that'll just drive a head coach crazy.
Just keep you up.
Yeah. Big time pop up off one of the better bats in the country, and you just let it fall to the turf.
That's 1 for 3. Got a couple of times he's taken swings where he's almost kind of spinning a little bit towards
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
first base dugout.
Front side is flying open.
Talked about what he did when he got his chance on the College World Series and just how effective he was on the biggest stage.
Yeah, better swing that time for Kent. You love those players who just don't get caught up in big moments. And like you mentioned earlier, that slow heartbeat. It's just doesn't matter what point of the game and how much pressure you might think might be on a guy. They just doesn't bother them.
You ever played a ton, though, and you go to Omaha and you go 10 for 24, knock in 7 runs? I mean, you lived up to the billing.
Yeah.
It's going to be a tough play for White. Comes through it, makes the effort to retire. Hayden Kent used his footwork to get the true bounce and get the 2nd out of the inning.
Yeah, that was not an easy play, coming across in his position and having to come in on the ball. And to get his footwork reset real quickly and make a strong throw. Kent can get down the baseline.
Like the big hop or the short hop.
Yeah, that's right.
Use that footwork in order to kind of cover some ground and get to that spot. Laviolette has been hit by a pitch, walked and scored a run, and also struck out. 5 hits on the year. 3 of the 5 have left the building.
He's just not seeing the ball as well at the moment. I mean, he missed a fastball. It was back in that 3rd inning. The strikeout. Yeah, that was the sequence. Yeah, it was right down the middle. It's like he just doesn't miss those pitches.
And then you get one dotted for a strike, too.
Backdoor sweeper. That's been an effective pitch for Hintz. I'll go right back to it.
Hintz looking for a perfect 7th. Trying to maintain this 1-run deficit. A little bit up, a little bit out.
See, Hintz needs to play downstairs. He gets that fastball up in the zone, it tends to flatten out on him.
Price for that backdoor strike 3 as catcher Guzman was really trying to plead with Alex Ziegler to bring up Laviolette.
Yeah, really close. And Guzman was like, you just called that a strike.
Here's the payoff. Not close.
Yep.
Third time he's been on base. So Pat, even in a game in which maybe hasn't had his best swing, he's still been able to get on 3 times.
Yeah, he's just a guy that when he sees all your pitches, especially, you start getting uncomfortable with that full count. A guy that can one swing and club one out of here.
Well, Pat, this was Wyatt Hensler in the 5th inning.
And there's a difference in the game. Yeah, that was an absolute nuke. That got out of here quick.
He was career home run number 56, which means he is tied Hunter Hines for the active career leader. Mr. Hines also in this event. So these guys can jockey back and forth from this point to see who can take over that top spot again. The active home run leader in college baseball.
The battle is on.
Well, he won't get it here because he got plunked on the kneecap. So another inning where there's a couple of quick outs, and all of a sudden there's some Aggie base runners giving Texas A&M a chance to provide some insurance.
Yeah, this looked like a slider that didn't slide. Catches him.
He was grimacing before he wore it. He knew that was going to get him.
It was coming. Yeah, that's a case where you get these two hitters back to back, and as hot as Hensler is, you've got to pitch him careful as well. And
Hayden Schott really didn't want to do that, but he wrapped the bat through the zone. 0 for 3, couple of groundouts for the Aggies DH.
And Michael Early calling timeout. I think he wants to kind of settle Schott down a little bit. He's swung at a couple of pitches way out of the zone, and it seems like he's just overthinking it.
And Pat, here's a guy too. We talk about Laviolette maybe a little bit behind last year's pace and not having Groback, but I mean, Schott started all 68 games and led the team in batting at .335, almost had 90 hits.
Yeah.
And you're 3 weeks in, you understand perspective, but you do start to feel it a little bit that you're not putting up the numbers that you would hope.
Yeah, and he's just putting pressure on himself. Look, he came into the season high expectations. He's a senior, and he's trying to be a good leader. And it doesn't matter how much experience you have in this game. Sometimes you just press. Pressing in this game never works.
No, it does not. Hurt the ball club when you think. Ball and a strike to Schott. Now Hintz again. He's trying to find a way to get out of this inning. Strand a couple of runners.
That's what great coaching does. Sometimes it's just a matter of settling you down, asking the right questions. Hey, what's your approach? What are you looking for? Are you comfortable? Are you relaxed?
Schott had no intent to swing there, and the count's gone to 2-2.
Yeah.
And that's one of those 2-1. You almost want him in there ready to go, waiting for a mistake.
It was a breaking ball, and I was sitting fastball, didn't get his pitch.
Laviolette at second. Hensler aboard at first. Aggies in front 2-1. And that's a wave to miss. So Hintz gets the K, works around a couple of free base runnings. Keeps the Wildcats within a run. 2-1 Aggies as we head to the 8th. Totals almost identical with one glaring exception. Aggies have that 1-run lead as we go to the 8th inning. 6 outs with which to work for the Wildcats. Brutus back to the mound will face Matisse Mirad, the 9-hole hitter. Big 12 newcomer of the week. Coming off hip surgery in the offseason, so get a shortstop playing third base, batting 9-hole, but he's put up good numbers.
Yeah, flips him around to the left-hand side, first time tonight. Really exciting player. He is super athletic.
Give it a 5 for 8 week with 7 runs scored, couple of home runs, 5 runs batted in. First French-born and raised player in NCAA Power Conference history.
How about that? He has a younger brother playing at the JUCO level.
Matisse himself played at Cochise, and you're talking about a junior college way down south in Arizona, not far from the border. And get an opportunity to play a lot of games and a bright future ahead for Matisse. Wave and a miss. Brutus gets the K to retire the leadoff hitter here in the 8th inning.
A good fastball tailing away from Murrah that time, and worked a couple of those backdoor breaking balls, and then that pitch starting away and don't pick up the spin. That's what happens.
Brendan Summerhill is 1 for 3. Single leading off the game, but was out on a caught stealing later. Quick mound visit from Galloway.
Yeah, trying to slow this game down. Looks like a couple of pitchers up in the pen for Texas A&M, and chance to give them a few extra throws.
It's a big batter here in Summerhill. Walton's on deck. He homered in the 6th. Summerhill, preseason All-American. As you see activity continuing in the Aggies bullpen, which is the Astros bullpen in the regular season, way out there in right center.
You got the Wilson, the left-hander, and then you've got Hayden or Weston Moss, the right-hander.
I think we're going to see the lefty, because here comes Michael Early.
Just waiting for that call.
Pitching change in the top of the 8th inning. Arizona down to its final 5 out.
A ton of upside, can be projected as one of the weekend rotation members here, if not before the end of this season, next year for sure. But yeah, 4 pitches, throws them for strikes.
There was a guy, Pat, a couple of years ago, after his senior season in high school here in the Houston area, went to that MLB draft combine in Phoenix. They don't invite just anybody.
Yeah, that's right. You
that.
got to earn your ticket on that one.
Summerhill is singled in 3 at-bats. Coming off the season where he had 32 extra base hits. Shoots that one down the line and left at Benning in a play. Then knocked in 59 runs. So then he went to the Cape, performed well there, and it just sets you up for that junior season. That also comes with a little bit of anxiety, because you know it's your draft year.
That's it. That's it. Well, you see why they made the change here. Even if they didn't go lefty-lefty matchup, you want something that's going to break down and away off of Summerhill's barrel, and that's what Moss features with that changeup. You want that sweeping breaking ball breaking into the barrel.
The pitch just misses outside.
This is a guy you're going to see at the next level. He's got a ton of upside too, Summerhill.
He didn't like that strike call. Instead of 2-1, it's 1-2. Moss from that full windup. There's a chopper up the middle. Going to be another infield base hit. Farr couldn't come up with it. Even had he fielded it, probably not a great chance to get Summerhill at first.
No, it wouldn't have mattered. Yeah, Summerhill's speed, he busted out of the box, and he's one of those elite runners. And that took far too far towards the middle to make a play.
And now the tying runs on base for Arizona. And Aaron Walton, who homered in the 6th, steps in.
Slonic gets turned over again. This is where the production comes. It's top of this Wildcat lineup.
The breaking ball floats outside and misses to Walton. And Sanford transferred. Smoke, but foul. Pat, you think about the thrill of homering in the big league ballpark. Well, in our first game today, we had a young man not only did it once, he homered twice.
That's
in the
right.
game.
Yeah. It was an impressive day. was Keelan with 2 home runs earlier
Sure
for
did.
Tennessee.
3 hits, couple of home runs. And Tennessee's 5-2 win over Oklahoma State. Strike 2 to Walton.
Yeah, good breaking ball that time for Moss. He throws Walton.
Even a ball to the gap could tie this game.
Last time Walton stayed back and drilled that breaking pitch. When you're up in the count here, 1-2 count. Good idea to throw a fastball. Just trying to get it above his hands.
Pitch timer winding down. For the first instead. You know, the one thing when you finish out last baseball season, you're watching the World Series, the playoff games, and then you start this year with the college game. Your mind says, wait a minute, they're throwing the first over and over again compared to the limits you have at the big leagues.
There's such rule in college. And you get 2 throws in the big leagues, but we have not adopted that rule here at the college level.
Shifting still allowed at the college level, although we have not seen a lot of dramatic shifts here today. 2-2 and another for the first.
Yeah, Laviolette, they've shifted over every time, but you're right. Another new rule for college baseball is the double bag at first base. I like that rule. I've seen a lot of injuries at first base.
We don't have it here. You did in Arlington?
Yeah, we did.
Not close. Galloway keeps Summerhill from advancing, and that's big, but now the count has gone full to Walton with Mason White looming on deck.
Well, I think if you're Arizona, you take a chance, put Summerhill in motion here, and Walton's a good contact hitter as well.
Summerhill draws another throw. Back in diving. This Aggies defense has maybe 11 errors coming into action tonight. They've been clean. They haven't had a lot of plays. Prager had the 10 strikeout. Arizona trying to put some pressure on. Summerhill will run. That's ball 4. That ball goes to the backstop. Well, a 1-out infield single and a walk, and now Mason White has a chance not only maybe to tie the game, but to put his team in front.
Yeah, they're going to play matchup baseball here if you're Texas A&M. And you're going to bring that lefty in. No movement yet. Aggies are thinking about it.
White's 0 for 3, but had a year ago he had 19 homers and 65 knocked in.
Yeah, I guess if you like the changeup here with Mosh, you just got to hope he doesn't make a mistake with another pitch. And yeah, now we're there. It is. There's the
you had a
trip out of
sense
the
pretty
dugout.
early.
Yeah,
It's just a matter
like,
of when.
Yeah, you don't like that matchup if you're A&M.
Well, the #1 team in the nation, they've lost a couple of games in a row. They'd like to stop that mini skid tonight and not waste those strong, effective outings and innings from Ryan Prager. But all of a sudden, Arizona, a couple of base runners in the 8th. I don't believe Michael Early has made the call to the bullpen yet, but plate umpire Alex Ziegler coming out. It'll prompt, I would imagine, a call to the pen. Or maybe not.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go. Seemed to take a long time for what we knew was going to transpire. But new pitcher coming into the game. Caden Wilson will be the new pitcher. We'll step aside and come back. Big inning for the Wildcats. 2-1. Aggies maintaining their lead. Peculiar High School. That's the name in Missouri. Well, he's on to face Mason White with a couple of Wildcats on base in the 8th inning. And Tapper over near the Aggies dugout.
A good breaking ball to start the sequence there on White.
Pitch for a strike over the outside corner. Part of the characteristics of this ballpark, sometimes it can be hard to score a runner from second on a hard base hit to left or right when the outfielders creep in. But, Pat, they're both fairly deep.
Yeah,
the base hit should tie the game.
Yeah, it should. I think they're just trying to keep anything in front of them.
That's a swing.
That is a swing.
Indeed it is. White carved up. Wilson gets a big second out of the inning.
That's huge. And Mason White, a great hitter, and we talked about trying to cut down those swings and misses, and he just cannot hold it on that breaking pitch. Good job by Wilson to get ahead and then throw that kill pitch down below the zone.
He didn't want any drama in that sequence. That was a quick second out. This is Caulfield, the cleanup hitter, who's 0 for 3. The 6th-year senior. Summerhill at second, Walton at first. Well, Pat, the one thing I've done.
Runners can pick those things up.
Wiggin, a foul tip into the glove of Galloway, offered at the high one.
95, just blew it right by him.
Well, this partisan Aggie crowd up on their feet, trying to will Wilson to the final out of this 8th inning to strand a couple of Wildcats on base. The pause before the 1-2 pitch, not close. Galloway really had to lunge up to catch that baseball.
Yeah, just tried to overthrow that fastball. Can't get caught up in the moment.
Summerhill at second base represents the time run. The 2-2 fades down and in and misses, and now the runners will be able to take off early.
A head start on the infield for the runner, so good job by Galloway. Remind his infielders, hey, you got to go across, get the out. And Caulfield again. We talking about this, the patience of the hitter. Chance to be a hero here.
Biggest moment of this game. Runners take off, pay off. Did he offer? Yes, he did. Said Doug Williams at first. That's strike 3, and Wilson strands a couple of runners.
Yeah, pitched well outside the strike zone and goes with his fastball. Caulfield can't hold up. I'm going to look at it. Yep.
Hard to check on those high pitches. Wildcats strand a pair. Aggies maintain a 1-run lead. Blake Binder up. Due up to begin this bottom of the 8th inning, 0 for 3. Hintz is going to soldier on, Pat. He's at 57 pitches in his 4th inning of work.
Door in one of the biggest and tightest stages of college baseball.
Fortunately for him, he hit Bob Ullette before the home run. That's the difference.
After that pop-up fell, so if this game finishes 2-1, that's going to be a tough one to sit on. That ball driven in the air, rather deep right field, back to the fences. There enough room. Summerhill near the yellow line brings it down. He calmly got to the fence. Might have got some help from the bullpen. At least they were giving him a hard time, and he made the play.
The center fielder Aaron Walton was shouting fence, fence, fence as well, and Summerhill did a great job of getting back to the warning track and then kind of feeling his way to that wall. That's how you teach it, but sometimes it's hard to execute, especially in a ballpark you're unfamiliar with.
That size, Pat, that's going to sneak out.
That did, yeah. Looked like it had enough height to get out of here.
Looks like we got a pinch hitter, Jamal George, hitting for Gavin Cash. Off the bat, I didn't think that had enough, but then all of a sudden I started to wonder if maybe it was going to go.
I didn't either. The ball's been carried. You get up in the air tonight, you see the wind blowing out to left field, but it tends to come into the stadium and swirl. So the ball has really been carrying well tonight here at Daikin Field. And
almost always it makes it a better offensive park when the roof is open.
Yeah.
The flag's somewhat calm, but they'll pick up. They'll kind of swirl, blow out towards the train tracks. We're missing the train. They're working on that thing, but it's weird to look up there and not see the train up on top of the tracks.
Yeah. Astros are making a big deal out of that this year. I don't know what they're doing. It must be some kind of
little mystery.
New upgrade, yeah.
I don't know what Bobby's going to do if he doesn't get his train back. He's going to stand up there and dance with no choo-choo. I think this is outside. That would be a sight. 2 balls, 2 strikes. You know, a couple of years ago, I was here doing a YouTube Game of the Week for MLB Network, and I went out there in the middle of the game on the train with Bobby, and we're going back and forth, and he says, you know, you need to see it when there's a home run. I was only out there for half an inning, but Bregman homered, and all of a sudden we start moving. And
Nice.
it was quite a sight.
Nice.
I interviewed Bregman after the game, and I said, I was in the train during your home run, and he looked at me like, what in the world
What were
are
you doing up
talking
there?
about? Count has gone full to George with one out in the bottom of the 8th inning, and that is down in the middle at the knees. George was hoping that was ball 4, but that was a really nice pitch.
No doubt. Casey Hintz has thrown well. I mean, he's worked out of trouble a couple of times, but
Nice job of framing that as well. From
sure did. Guzman really got his thumb underneath that pitch. Framed it up.
5 strikeouts for Hintz.
How did they get the train off the tracks? That's
a great question. I was wondering that earlier today.
That thing's up there.
I mean, you need some serious machinery.
Yeah.
Get that thing down. Barr had that triple back in the 4th, just missed an opposite field home run to left center. I got to believe since they got it down, somebody can get it back up there.
Right.
Lonesome, no train.
Yeah.
Just all those banners.
All the banners.
Accumulated quite a few in this last stretch. The best stretch of Astros baseball by far. Big wave of the miss by far. And I think even though spring training is going on in Florida, this kind of whets the appetite a little bit for some of the local baseball fans. See these college kids in the 3rd weekend of their regular season competing here at Daikin Park. Wave of the miss.
No doubt. One time, as you mentioned, 25 years of doing these tournaments, and one time this used to be like the one big tournament.
No doubt.
That was it. The Houston one. I think they had one in Minneapolis for a few years, but it seems like there's about 20 of them.
Strikeout number 6 for Hintz. He was carving in that 8th inning.
Boy, it looked good.
Homer from Aaron Walton in the 6th to make it a 2-1 game, but that's it. And Wilson got a couple of strikeouts, Pat. The 2 batters he faced in the 8th. Now he gets a fresh inning.
Yeah, big time save opportunity for Wilson.
Mikolakis leading off 0 for 2 with a walk. Minnesota native trying to reach base against this tough lefty. Slapped out to left field, starting to carry. That ball is going to short hop the fence. George, the new left fielder, throws it towards second base. In with the double is Mikolakis, representing the tying run with nobody out of the 9th inning.
Yeah, great at bat for Mikolakis, and fastball down and away. Not a bad pitch from Wilson, but just turned George over. It just did not turn his hips correctly. And
it's amazing how the ball will find you, right? First batter when you're in left field.
Exactly.
Here it comes. Well, Arizona had runners at 1st and 2nd with 1 out in the 8th, but did not score as Wilson struck out both that he faced. Now they got the tying run in scoring position, nobody out. Coach early on his way again.
He's already made the call to the pen.
Aggies have used 4 pitchers tonight, about to be a 5th. Fun game, tough and tight. We'll step aside in the top of the 9th inning, come back with a new Aggie pitcher after this. Nobody out.
Yeah, big time arm out of the bullpen for the Aggies, and a transfer from McLennan Community College, but one of the better arms of the staff. You'll see the fastball mid-90s. He'll touch 96 with it. Really good slider. And the pitch has really worked hard on that pitch to develop it. It was already a good one, but now it's become a plus slider. Mix in an occasional changeup, but that slider's the out pitch.
His last appearance, he gave up a couple of hits, 3 runs, and a homer in an inning of work against Cal Poly. TJ Adams to hit for Arizona. He squares the bunt, pops one straight up. And the catch will be made by Binderup, even though his catcher Galloway ran into him. But Arizona doesn't get the bunt down and gifts the Aggies the first out of the inning.
Yeah, it was a high fastball, good call by the Aggie coaches, feeling that that may be the play. Adams up there to bunt. That's the pop-up, and just lack of communication between Binderup and Galloway. Good thing he's about 6'5".
That could have had a bad ending for Texas A&M. Tommy Splain has walked twice. He walked to load the bases in the 5th, walked in the 7th, basic to tie the game. Sucks one to left. George won't get there. But Mikolakis broke late. He didn't read that ball as falling and only advances to third.
Yeah, you can call it a base running mistake. Mikolakis just wasn't sure if that line drive was going to get down or not. But certainly cost Arizona a potential run.
I'm wondering, Pat, did he lose the baseball? Did he not see it, or did you just think that ball was going to be caught? You see George backing up.
Yeah, he started backing up on it. That's what Mikolakis read, was he saw George coming in to possibly make the play. Didn't want to get hung up at second base had he made the catch. And
because if he's running, he walks home with the tying run.
Yep. And the double play is in order for Texas A&M, so that was huge.
Tell you what, Easton Freifogel has come to the plate with the bases loaded in the 5th and a runner on base in the 7th and runners on the corners in the 9th.
Well, the good news for Arizona is Freifogel can just flat fly. He's maybe the fastest runner on that roster. Hard to double him up. The Yankees are going to play middle back and corners in.
Would you consider some type of slant bunt? There's a chopper to short. This will get the run home. But with the bobble. Can't make the play. Mikolakis was going to score anyhow. And this game is tied at 2 in the 9th inning.
Yeah, that's the danger. I mean, you have the infield in. Do they prevent the run on that ball? Probably. They were going to play middle back and try to shoot for the old play, and it just didn't work out.
Because you're worried about soft contact sometimes.
That's right.
And that's exactly what Freifogel provided. He'll get a base hit. He'll get an RBI. And now the Aggies go from trying to maintain this lead to trying not to fall behind. Arizona's never led in this game. Mira, the French infielder, takes the pitch down for a ball.
Check swing there. They're not going to check it, but Mira, a chance to be a hero.
A double and a couple of singles this inning. Wait a minute. Arizona had 4 hits through the first 8 innings. They've had 3 in the 9th. And they've tied up this game against the #1 ranked Texas A&M Fighting Aggies, trying to hand them their 3rd straight loss. Wave and a miss for strike 2.
There's that slider. That is a swing and miss pitch. Just disappeared out of the strike zone.
Well, that's a tough pitch to square up. Summerhill, preseason All-American on deck. Mira has a chance, though, to break up this tie game. There's a chopper towards far. He's going to go to second to get the force. Kent did a nice job tiptoeing on the bag not to get flipped. And now there's runners on the corners with 2 outs.
Yeah, nice play by the Aggie shortstop.
But Pat, if you take the sure out at first, you walk Summerhill, and then you take your cracks with Walton more than likely.
Yeah, it's not a play you're thinking about at second baseman. Farr just trying to get any runner he felt like he could get. Certainly could have gone to first base with it. You're right. And now Jason Kelly out. They're going to talk some strategy, I think, with Moss here. He's their guy for the moment. Make that fresh corn.
Prager, the starter, went 6 1/3 innings, gave up a homer in the 6th to Walton, who is on deck.
talking some
struck out
first and
10.
third. Yeah, timeout to the Aggies. So what that prevents is, the pitcher from stepping off and getting a new clock.
That was the disengagement in some sense.
Yep.
Summerhill takes. That finishes down and in. Even though this has been a tight game throughout, once the Aggies got that home run from Hensley in the 5th, they've had that lead. Well, no longer.
Yeah, credit to Wildcats. I mean, they just stayed in this game. Great pitching from the bullpen, Hintz, and kept them in it long enough for the offense to get going here in the ninth.
A&M just could not get that separation, and now Arizona with the hitter they want at the plate. I'd love to find a way. Ball and a strike to Summerhill. Big leg kick on the pitch. Way to miss.
Just a nasty slider. I think he's really improved for him.
Now do you risk sending that runner from first back?
Take a chance. Got your better hitter up there, so.
A chopper to the left side. It looks away from Hensley. The run will score. Arizona's taken a 3-2 lead. Hensley couldn't handle the smash from Summerhill. And Spillane comes across with the go-ahead run.
Yeah, Freshcorn went right back to that sweeper, and Summerhill did a nice job of staying behind the baseball and putting it in play. And unfortunately for the Aggies, Hensley could not come up with it. Had to go to his left. It looked like it just ticked off the heel of his glove.
It goes as a base hit, the third for Summerhill. And he gets an RBI. And Walton, who homered earlier, can now try to provide some insurance for Arizona. Down 2-1 coming into the ninth, now up 3-2. Bear down Arizona. Walton's homer in the 6th finally got something going. And it took until the 9th inning when Arizona scored again.
What a comeback from this Wildcat team. They started out the season 0-3. They were in Globe Life. I covered that weekend. They lost to Ole Miss, Clemson, and Louisville. They come back to win 5 straight. They're trying for their 6th.
2-0 Walton. Fastball's on the corner. 96 on the gun.
Head coach Chip Hale thought this might be their biggest test, especially against a pitcher like Ryan Prager.
Hard hit on the ground to short. Little by Kent. They'll get the fourth at second. But a couple of runs come across for the Wildcats. String together 4 hits in the inning. Now it's the Aggies who need a run to tie. Arizona's going to stay with Casey Hintz, who's already thrown 4 innings.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. I think Casey Hintz walked up last night thinking, hey, this might be my night. He pitched 4 innings. He's only given up the 1 hit. Of course, he was the home run. Pretty impressive outing. They're going to stick with him.
Jacob Galloway, the battery's 0 for 3. It's the 8, 9, and 1 spot. And that is a mile-high fly ball to right center. Summerhill there, a little stagger to his right. That's 1 pitch, 1 out in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Now he's staying aggressive. You get down in a game and 1-run game, you're trying to get base runners, and you take a strike or 2. But Casey Hintz has been around the plate tonight. He's only walked a couple of hitters.
You know what's unique though, Pat, is that Guzman, his catcher, who he worked the first 4 innings with, got pinch hit for. We have absolutely no idea who's catching. Because now we're being told it's Spillane. He would covered up that
there you go.
jersey with his chest protector.
It is Spillane.
It is a gear when he came out there, so it's Spillane catching. Keel with a chopper to short. Waits for the charge. Gets a nice hop. Throws all the way. Can't pick it. Towards right field. Keel isn't going to stop at second. He's out on the third base. Wow. Aggies want a review. For the time being, there's 2 outs in the 9th.
Wow.
Keel got greedy maybe, trying to go first to third after that overthrow.
Well, Andrew Kane tried to pick it at first base, and didn't see anybody backing up, and that's where, you know, Kiel just said, I'm just going to keep on going.
That ball kind of died in foul territory.
Wow, what a play. That was really close.
And Pat, I don't believe they have a signal to the umpire's booth.
Yeah. This would be a... Yeah, they're going to definitely take a look at this from a couple different angles. And he was immediately challenged by the Aggies out of the dugout. And the Aggies are thinking he was safe. And on replay on the big screen, looked like he just might be.
That old swing move might have worked.
Yeah, it was a great slide by Kiel, and what an aggressive play though to try to go from first, you know, all the way around to third base. And there's the tag by Moran. Now you can't tell on that angle where the hand and the tag is.
Well, you can't over-review, or you can't overturn it.
No, you have to have something more clear than that. Yeah, here's the home plate camera.
I mean, if that glove is on that batting glove or that hand before he does the swim move,
yeah,
he would be out. Otherwise, that left hand was coming to that back tip of the base.
Yeah, either one of those angles, it'd be really difficult to overturn this. Eric Gaucher, the third base umpire, right on top of the play. He's in perfect position to see it.
Pat, I think it's going to stand.
Well, judging from those two reviews, I think so too. There's nothing there that suggests you can overturn it.
Aggie fans really got excited when they watched the replay on the big board.
Yeah, it was a great slide. And look, if he's ruled safe there, it'd be hard to overturn that if you're Arizona, right? So either way, there's no angle there that suggests you could overturn that call from where we're sitting.
But what a huge review, because if he's out, then the bases are empty, 2 outs, and the Aggies are down to their final out, trailing by a run. Otherwise, you got the tying run in third with only 1 gone here in the bottom of the 9th inning.
That's right. They're signaling up to the box here. They can't see the replay. And the umpire's looking up here to the press box asking for the review.
From the previous angle, we were wondering if maybe his hand was tagged. But again, that angle shows that if a tag was made, it was probably more on the jersey. And then the question becomes,
That's right. That's what I'm seeing.
was the out recorded or not?
Yeah, and the umpires are having an issue right now just trying to find the right replay. They're trying to work that out. But yeah, Casey Hintz is continuing to take warm-up pitches, keep his arm loose.
Well, now we got the walkie-talkies out with maybe the headphones not working. So technology's fantastic
when it works.
When it works.
And here's a camera view from the first base side. Yeah, again, there's you can't tell when the tag is being applied. You definitely see Kiel's hand get to third base, but at what point was the tag applied?
We've seen it several times. The problem is we don't get to make the ultimate decision.
Now, our opinion doesn't count.
It does not. What a big call. What a huge review.
Oh, it's huge, yeah, because you think, I mean, Kiel could have easily stopped at second base. He's in scoring position, right? He chooses to take the risk. Look, there's a lot of benefit to get to third base here with 1 out. It sets up all kinds of options for the Aggies, but you know, they've got to have something more definitive to be able to overturn this call than what we're seeing.
We're seeing it from all the angles that we have. You see the throw pull Mira a little bit to his left, so he had to lunge back to try and make this tag on Terrence Keel.
And the umpire there, Gaucher, blocks out that angle. That might have been the best angle had the umpire not been properly positioned, right? He's where he's supposed to be. And now the home plate umpire, Alex Ziegler's having a conversation with Chip Hale to say, hey, sorry for the delay. We're just having some technical issues here.
And Casey Hintz, Pat, has been out there throwing warm-up pitch after warm-up pitch, and he's already thrown 72 pitches in the game.
He's thrown a complete game now. Yeah, just warming up here.
You see the Aggies' immediate objection, and that doesn't count for much, but regardless, they felt convinced that Keel was safe. Gaucher's right there.
Yeah, he's right on top of the play and sees it. I
don't want to tell everybody how to do their business, but if the technology is working, there's going to be a backup form of communication. And right now, the weight is these Aggie fans stirring a bit, and this obviously is.
Yeah, they're still trying to reach the review umpire, and that's where the communication breakdown is.
We've got a headset, we've got a walkie-talkie. We might play charades at some point and do hand signals.
The Aggies are yelling safe in the background. They're trying to help make the right call.
They're trying to will this in their favor. I can't blame them.
Yeah, this is the longest view I've ever seen. It's difficult, right? Because you got a pitcher that's trying to stay warm. And
I had one in the opening weekend, Pat, where the umpires on site went to the monitor near the end of the dugout, and the monitor wasn't working. They came back, they told the coaches there was a play at the plate. Then they went back a second time. It did work. It was a very long review, but the technology finally worked. I don't have great confidence that it may hear. And again, you feel for Hintz because he's kind of powerless right now.
Yeah.
What he can do.
All he can do is keep throwing pitches, and it's like the coaches are going, man, the guy's up to 30 pitches warmed up.
If that is your angle there, but I think the call has to stand. If from a different angle that tag attempt did not get to the midsection, the hand or the arm of Keel, then he indeed did get there.
Yeah. Yep. Just hard to overturn it from what we're seeing.
If the call stands, the bases are empty with 2 outs in the 9th, and Arizona still up by a run. Otherwise, the tying run's 90 feet away with 1 out. I see some nodding down there with the headsets on, so maybe the technology has worked.
All right.
We get an old-fashioned thumbs up. I don't know what that
I think
means.
we have a decision.
I'm not sure if there is a carrier pigeon available at this hour of the night. One that could swoop down from the press box.
Yep. Crowd's not going to like this one.
And out stands, and Arizona celebrates. But the Aggies still have 1 more to go.
Yeah, he called the game. Obviously, it's one of those ones you almost flip a coin with if you're watching at home. And obviously, it just depends on which color jersey you have on this, where you're rooting for that call.
Well, for Texas A&M with Caden Kent in the box, they really want to get Laviolette up to the plate with a chance to win it. Kent has singled in 4 at-bats. A couple of groundouts as well for Caden. Next pitch for Hintz will be his 75th in relief. entered the game in the 5th. Fouled right back to the screen.
And that's not including the 30 warm-up pitches he took.
There's no doubt.
With that review going on.
He'll be given a hit. Then the error allowed him to go to second. And Summerhill got the assist with the throw to third. Soft chopper bending foul. And now Texas A&M down to its final striker out in the 9th inning. The longest review we've ever seen.
Yeah.
And Arizona probably felt like it was worth the wait. But can A&M get a base runner aboard to bring Laviolette to the plate representing the winning run?
And let's not forget the throw by Summerhill to Murrah that created the out at third base. That was an unbelievable throw.
Big pitch, the 1-2, and it carries outside.
What an outing for Casey Hintz if he can close this out.
Kent spoils it. You'll see another, at least. Yeoman's duty for Casey Hintz. 2 pitches away from reaching 80 in relief. Gave up the 2-run homer, but it came with 2 outs after a pop-up fell in foul territory that should have been caught. Arizona scored 2 in the top of the 9th. The 2-2. A fly to right center. That's a base hit. Kent will keep the game going, and he will bring Laviolette to the plate, and the most dangerous power hitter in the country has a chance with a long one to win it for the Aggies.
Well, this is what the Aggies hope for, to try to get Laviolette up to bat here in this situation. It looks like Arizona's going to stick with Hintz. Well, Hintz has not retired Laviolette. He's hit him and walked him.
That one came in. Did it hit him? It did not. Did he swing? He did not. '29 homers, 78 runs batted in a season ago for the man many think will be the #1 overall pick in the draft this summer. He represents the winning run, and that pitch floated in.
Oh, it did.
At the belt for a called strike.
Yeah, that was a hanger.
Chase has 5 hits all season, 3 of which have been homers. Aggies down to their final out. Arizona leading by a run. Fouled at the plate. And again, Texas A&M down to its final striker out of the 9th inning. Pat, what a game to conclude day 1.
Sure is. Yeah, it's what we expected, but it's even been better what we expected in terms of just the competitiveness, and feels almost like a postseason game.
Kent at first with a short lead. The 1-2 elevated and missed on the cutter, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, you like that pitch from Hintz, just changing the eye level and trying to entice Laviolette to chase it.
83 pitches into his relief appearance. Laviolette waits on a 2-2. Swing and a miss! Strikeout! Arizona scores 2 in the 9th, and they hold on for a 3-2 win, taking down Texas A&M. What a win for Arizona.
Yeah, come from behind fashion, and gosh, excitement right down to the end. This long replay at the end, and Casey Hintz. What a night for him to close this game out. 5 innings in relief. Gives up the 2-run homer. The Arizona offense comes back and wins it for him in the 9th.
Has to make this pitch to end your night. What a way to
slide
finish.
it down and in, yeah. Just a nasty pitch, and it's one of the best hitters in college baseball. Big win for the Cats.
It concludes day 1 here from the Astros Foundation College Classic. For Pat Combs, I'm Brett Dolan, and our entire crew thanking you for tuning in. Once again, Arizona takes down Texas A&M 3-2. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow morning on day 2.
Your final totals on the big board, Arizona, 21, Texas
you President Biden is left few very tense moments there inside the Oval.